when these guys all walk out and they see you, it's a big shot, man. It's to know that we know that have this many fans over here and stuff like that. It's an honor and it's a pleasure, and it's also a little bit of a shock for us. Gotta be honest with you. So
I feel like I've got the best seat in the house because I spoke to a lot of you last night, and I know where the money is, and I get to sit next to the Kane. And, how many of you Caniacs are really jealous of me right now? We got a love story starting next year.
We're gonna switch it up a little bit. Not even the writers don't even know.
Yeah, where is Chris Downey? I know what I'm wanting.
You know, I tell you, this is a funny story. It's and I don't mind saying it because Dean said it a couple times, and he's pretty public with what he says. His favorite scene of Leverage of all time was in the tap out job when I'm sitting in the ring and I'm getting ready to get my ass handed to me, and Gina walks up and Sophie and we have that conversation. That's his favorite scene. It's one of my favorite scenes of all time that I've ever filmed. I don't know what there was. It was just with me and her. We don't get to work together that much. They always keep us away. I think it's because Nate's drunk and there's a little spark here between Sophie and Elliot. You guys have seen it. You guys know what I'm talking about. And I think they try to keep us away a little bit because they don't want to develop that just yet. And that was one of my favorite scenes I've ever shot, actually, with the amazingly talented, one of the best actresses I've ever worked with, Miss Gina Bellman. That's a true story, and I was very vulnerable at that time. It was they hadn't given Elliot a lot of inside emotional stuff yet because I just kicked the shit out of people, and so that was a big scene for me. And she, on the other side, she delivered so well. It's really become one of my favorite scenes ever. It's definitely Dean's favorite scene.
But we had a couple in that episode. There was the one in the corridor as well. That was
really nice. Yeah.
But you know, one of the things I love about working with Christian, again, I don't think we see enough of, is that, you know, obviously a lot of you know me from coupling and how I came up through the comedy world. And comedy is what I love to do, and that's where I'm like happiest. But one of my favorite moments ever in the history of Leverage is Christian's comedy stuff that he did in the pilot episode as the nerdy guy. Like, I know it doesn't go with his image, but the hard guy and the womanizer, but, you know, I love it when they give him comedy stuff to do, because especially, you know, me being a comic actress, I think that he has amazing, like, comic timing, and I'd love to see him do a lot more of that.
Come from you, that means a lot. Thank you so much. Yeah, that stuff is always fun. That's the beauty of this show, and I don't know, I'm sure maybe Alice and Beth may have touched on it a little bit. The great thing about our show is that we have writers that are so good that they're not cocky. They literally, if we want to say something, they've allowed us to just go ahead and say it. Now, we don't write our own lines or anything like that. It's all written down and scripted. But if we want to go just a little nut outside, that's the beauty of our writers. I wish Chris Downey was here to take this, but as long as we get from A to B, they don't really care what we do in between, as long as we hit all the important points and stuff like that. And this doesn't happen on another show. I don't know, maybe, you know, especially with some of the stuff that I've seen, the brilliant stuff you did on The Hive and on Coupling, but it's like, it just doesn't happen. On Angel, it was like, I'd be like, well, I'm going to go over here. They're like, that's not the line. I was like, what is it? They said, I'm going to go right here. I'm like, fuck difference does it make? You got people correcting you. I'm like, you know, that me and David were, you know, battling. It was like, you know, and I was like, you know what it is? It's the sign of the pakla. And they go, it's pakla. I go, it's a mere fucking word. I'm not wrong about this. And we don't have that. We don't have those writers on this. And they literally let us go outside the box and do some of our own stuff, which I think is a lot of the comedy. When you have somebody like Alice, you gotta let them go. You know, you just do it, and it's a better show because of it and stuff like that. So a lot of the stuff that we say that it comes out on screen is just us shooting from the hip, and also us knowing each other for so long. And I've said it before in front of you guys last year at the Vampire Ball. The reason why this show works so well, not only because of A, you guys, guys is B, because we're all still best friends. And I think that you guys see that. That just doesn't happen. On any other show I've worked on and on the shows that I know my friends are on, after 2 weeks, people just fucking hate each other. And we're all still best friends. We'll work 13, 14 hours a day, and when we get done, drive to well, I'll wait.
It's true that
We'll drive to a restaurant and eat together, you know? I mean, so we love each other.
And we, it's weird because, you know, we have this period of 5 months a year where we don't see each other and we're all busy with other things and we don't really pick up the phone and talk to each other, and then we see each other and it's like we never left off. It's a really good feeling, and I know I talked to a lot of you last night about the office job, which I haven't had the chance to see yet, but you know, like Christian was saying, that show in particular, we were allowed to like just do our own thing a lot of the time, and it's so nice to like be able to work off the chemistry that we all have, and I can't wait to see that episode.
Well, I thought for sure that me and Hardison were going to steal that episode. I was like, you can't beat us, right? It's like improv and we're doing our thing and all this stuff. And when you see the stuff between you and Tim in the room, and you're back and forth, with the whole like, he said what? It was one of the best moments on Leverage I've ever seen, man. You've got to see this. It works so great. Jonathan Frakes directed the episode, by the way, who we all love working with and wish we could work with him more. And he just, and you guys stole it. I mean, it was the best comedy work.
Because we had a couple of really good writers on that episode, but they were newbies. They were like new writers, and obviously Jonathan Frakes got a big personality, and we all have big personalities. And Jonathan was just like saying, "Do your thing, do whatever you like, go, do whatever you want." And the writers were like, "Huh? I didn't write that line. I didn't write that line. That's not my line." And we were like, "It'll be fine. It'll be fine." And it was. So.
And one of the writers came up afterwards and says it's brilliant. It's a brilliant episode, and he was kind of one of the ones that were like, "Wow, you're going way off page here." I don't know. Raise your hand if you saw it. I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
Yeah.
So the sandwich thing was just me. I just talked about the sandwich. I explained the sandwich, the actual sandwich in the episode. So yeah.
And
I don't want to spoil it because I know some people haven't seen it.
I was talking to a bunch of people last night about this weekend is going to be the girls' night out, and then the following weekend will be boys' night out, and how all the boys were like, "Our episode's better than your episode." So.
Well, it's a true story, but. Well, the great thing about it is, and I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody, but I will tell you, there's a really cool thing that happens in the middle of their episode. I'm only telling you guys here, not all these cameras.
Because nobody twitters in this room, right?
I really don't know the concept on that either. Twitters, tweets. I guess is right. Probably shouldn't say this. I'm gonna say it. There's going to be, in their episode, there's a really cool thing that happens with Gina. And Jerry Ryan comes back in this episode, which is great. And there's a hole in their episode that you won't understand. And when you watch Boys Night Out, it'll totally make sense. You'll be like, "Oh my God, that actually..." And John Rogers and Chris Downey got together. Chris Downey wrote Girls Night Out, and John Rogers wrote Boys Night Out. And it's just a brilliant little thing where you really will walk away and not understand what happened. And then when you watch Boys Night Out, because it's the only part in the episode where the two cross. And it's really brilliant. And I have to give it up to these writers that wrote this thing. And it's really, really cool. And I'm not going to say any more than that, but it's a lot of fun. And you'll be like, "Oh, that's what happened." Okay.
It's a shame they're not on the same night, though. It should be like a double bill.
That's what I think.
Yeah. But I'm really excited. So anyway, just so you all know, our episode's much better.
I wouldn't say better, I'd say hotter.
There's a lot of legs.
There's a lot of legs.
There's a lot of legs on display.
You got Gina Bellman and Jerry Ryan in a miniskirt.
I bet.
Come on.
I do that too.
Yeah.
That's rocking.
That's right.
All three of us in high heels and miniskirts. And Jerry Ryan is heating up the dance floor as well.
That's right. That's right. And there's a hot dude on the show.
Yeah.
Who got beat up in the world. I'm just walking down the wrong street, I guess. He's not Elliot. thing is that their episode is actually really hot. They've got these girls. I apologize for saying this about you guys and talking to you like this, but it's like they have them in outfits that we were just like, we were filming our episode. By the way, not a lot of people know this. We filmed them simultaneously, so we didn't see these girls for a week. We were off doing ours, and they were doing theirs.
Yeah,
we actually filmed them.
Well, we'd go to the catering tent and all the good stuff.
Yeah, and then me and Alice and Tim would be like, in line getting some like turkey and stuff like that, and then we'd be just like, the girls would walk in and we'd be like, can I get a little bit? It's Jerry Ryan actually wearing anything? So it's a sexy episode. But then you got me and Alice after that. Just just 48 hours. Just the two boys. I'm just saying. You know what? We'll let you guys vote. There should be a poll.
You can make a poll.
I know you can. I know that you guys can.
Does anyone in the house know that Christian is an amazing chef as well?
Yeah.
Does it get any better than that? Seriously?
I always have to make Gina sandwiches. I come in with a sandwich. I take my time on.
When I was pregnant in season 2, you have no idea how hungry I was the entire time, and I was hot and uncomfortable. And my feet were swollen, and even though I was only being shot from the neck up, I was still in high heels for some reason. I was just so uncomfortable. It was summer, and I would be on set, and Christian would just come along with this like double-loaded Subway, huge, amazing, tasty sandwich. I couldn't do without. It was great, like every day, but a Christian Kane sandwich, he really took care of me.
Speaking of which, to change the subject just for a second, something just happened. In the green room, something just happened. Now,
What now?
you have to understand something. Tim has a son. Beth has a son. Gina has a daughter. These are all our kids. On set, these are all our kids. Dean has a daughter. Paul has 2 daughters that we love to death. Mark Roskin has 2 kids. These kids are always welcome
Not
on
to
our
mention
set.
that Romy was born on the show.
Yeah, and she was born on the show. And so we all feel like these are our kids, we love them to death, and they run around and they play with the dogs, and it's funny because we'll be filming a scene and 3 kids will run through it. And nobody cares, because really, honestly, we have the most kid-friendly set of ever, and I'm going to let you take it from here, but something just happened. Now, by the way, Gina works very hard, we all work very hard, and a lot of times you don't get to see the kids, and that's why the kids get to come to set. And so she's...
What he's trying to tell you is that
I think it's a big deal.
I don't get to be with her all the time when we're shooting, and then since we wrapped in August, I have spent 24/7 with my daughter and been a full-time mommy and loved every second of it, and this is the first time I've left her, and she just peed on the toilet! That's cool. She's a typical woman. She's like, what? You gonna go off and leave me? Huh, guess what I'm gonna do? So, it's a big day for me.
I just love that story. I know how much she loves her daughter, and I know how much we love her as well, so that was a big thing. And I couldn't wait. As soon as Beth walked in after the talk, she goes, guess what just happened? That's great.
Alright, moving on now.
She loves me, so that's the whole thing I care about. She's not been that warm to me lately. When she was a newborn, she loved me. She would grab my hair.
When she was a newborn, she was all over Christian. But then she got kind of hung up on Beth. But she was more like Beth, like the golden hair. She'll come around again.
Maybe.
She'll be a Kane.
Shall we do questions? I'm going to listen to that bullshit for a while. question? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. It was about the Elliot-Sophie relationship, because Sophie started playing little games with Elliot within your linguistic program. Now Elliot's aware of it. Does it still work?
Works in real life. I'm a legs and ass man.
You know, I think it's one of the more interesting, well, they're all interesting relationships, but I mean, Sophie's developed so much into a maternal character. They seem to have like focused on that, and I really love playing that stuff. And obviously I have the relationship with Tim's character. But what I like about their relationship is that they really respect each other. And I think that of everyone, they're the ones that are equals, that he kind of resentfully respects what she does, she kind of resentfully respects what he does, and that she's not, she knows she doesn't have to look out for him like she does with, you know, she's always looking out for Nate, she's always looking out for Parker, she's always looking out for Hardison, so she doesn't need to look out for him. So I think that relationship of like relentlessly teasing him is really fun to play.
But Elliot's also